I have fond memories as a very young girl sitting in a pew in a small southern church in a small southern town, holding my mom's hands. Growing up in the Bible Belt, it never occurred to me that going to church was not an option. Attending church in the South is like drinking sweet tea. It's just assumed everyone does it. Sitting in that pew, I often found myself on the verge of trouble for talking or wiggling. To pass the time, I would take my mom's hand. My little fingers would trace the lines of her palm before sliding her gold rings off of her hand. I would twist them around before slipping them on my miniature fingers. I loved to look at her elegant fingernails, always freshly painted on Sunday mornings. I admired my mom and dreamed of the day I would have grown-up hands like hers. Money was always tight back then. We lived in a broken-down trailer in the wrong part of town. My mom was always the breadwinner, but never the head of household. The year I entered first grade, my mom found a job at a drill bit factory in town. The job came with a higher wage and insurance coverage. It meant we could go to the dentist for the first time and move to a new trailer in a less awful part of town. It offered us security that we desperately needed after years of moving from place to place. But that job came with a price, too. My mom left work each day, caked in oil and smelling like the factory where she labored. Even the big red chewing gum reliably stashed in the bottom of her pocketbook hinted of the taste of oil. She worked hard, yet never complained. Instead, she would hurry home from her shift and jump right into her work of mothering. It never occurred to me to ask about her day, but she always made time to talk about mine. She would call out spelling words and encourage me while I worked on science projects and history papers. She was always there to make sure I ate my peas and brushed my teeth. She worked overtime so that I could go on field trips and have that special pair of shoes all the kids were wearing. She pushed me to be independent and not neglect my intellect. She sacrificed in an attempt to make me more equal than my peers, to give me opportunities that would put me on a path different from hers. The years passed without me noticing the toll the harsh conditions at her job had taken. Her once lovely hands had transformed into hands belonging to someone much older. Her elegant fingers that held the gold rings I loved as a child had become knotted with arthritis. Her long fingernails, with which she took such care, were worn down to bits and stained with the remnants of used oil. The many cuts caused by machines and drill bits created scars that now line the fingers and palms I once admired. Her job had not been easy, but neither had her life. She was, however, determined that I would not follow in those same footsteps. My mom wasn't able to provide a childhood of rainbows and butterflies, as if there is such a thing, and I resented this for years. Maturity has shown me that her goal was never to give me an easy childhood, but a better life. Her hands tried to protect me the best way she knew how, and even though they were not enough to spare me pain, they were enough to get me out of a cycle of brokenness, away from a life of struggle. They are the hands that taught me what it means to love another more than oneself. The hands that lifted me up even when she was held down. I now understand that this is the love of a mother's hands.